Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Netta for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we are shipping out today on Monday. So this is all the stuff that's sold from like late Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is kind of quantity-wise, this is probably the lowest I've seen in a bit, although there are some chunky sales in here. So hopefully it will average out to be okay. All right, the first thing is The Story of Dataman. By Texas Instruments. I think this is just like a little comic or book about the calculator. Yeah, it sold for $7. I don't know too much about it. I grabbed this from deep in a box at an estate sale with other computer games and manuals. I just happen to remember that based off of what I was listing that day. All right, next up is a board game, Warlords, China in Disarray, 1916 to 1950 here. All right, it has a lot of these little chits, those little like square cardboard markers. This game sold for $28. I believe this one is complete. So I checked all the components there. And then, yeah, this one, I like picking up bookcase games. This one looked more unique. I don't think I've grabbed one like this. This is not an actual bookcase game, the brand, even though it goes, that's what it is. All right, and it's by Panther Games. All right, next up, a lot of four. Everything's on the bottom today. The storage unit had a good time picking items, so I'm glad about that. But apparently I put all the ones on the bottom. Clan War, Legend of the Five Rings. This right here is going to have a core rulebook and 3 other expansions. This is, I believe, for Legend of the Five Rings RPG right there. So yeah, a lot of 4 of them sold for $20. Legend of the Five Rings is kind of hipster-ish, but it does slowly sell. So when someone wants it, they don't mind paying up for it a little bit. That's only $20 for 4 of them, but the condition was kind of like mediocre, so that's fine with me. All right, moving along. This is just literally a lots of 28 sitting infantry with gun, metal miniatures. I couldn't identify them, so I just said every keyword: gun, sitting, extra bits, pieces, the quantity. I did measurements in there. These are metal. These sold for $17.60. All right, next up is a software program, Punch Home Design Studio. Right here, this is for 2006. This might work for Macintosh as well. It has like a full little booklets. It has all the manuals inside. Someone grabbed this for $20. Their username is Realtor, so maybe they're going to just mess around fiddling with making a home look nicer. I'm not too sure. We grabbed that at a estate sale. That was actually at the one that we were pretty iffy about, $100 for a bunch of stuff, and we were kind of cringing at it, but it's ended up paying out, so I'm happy about that. All right, next up is just a single sheet. This is laminated. This is Fleet Identification at a Glance, Ships of the U.S. Navy. So yeah, this sheet right here, it was probably just a loose sheet that then we didn't even know we grabbed inside of a book or something when we're out at estate sales. This sold for $20. So yeah, I'll still list this stuff. Even if I look at it and it looks kind of like janky, someone's going to appreciate and know what it is. All right, next up is Gloomhaven, just the brute character box with all the components. So it's going to have the attack modifier deck. It's going to have the persistent tokens. It's going to have the level up cards and then the player mat. This one does not have the miniature. The miniature would have to be in a small box as an additional item. I did have a bunch of these without the miniature, and then I also had a bunch with the miniature. This is without. This sold for $12.50. I still haven't really looked up into recently about if Gloomhaven is getting a reprint. I think it's been in a weird limbo right now. And then Gloomhaven 2.0 is also delayed. So like if you want Gloomhaven stuff, so maybe someone just wanted another set of characters for their campaign, or like another set of components for their character in their campaign. All right, next up is just a book, 1812, The Great Retreat, right here, hardcover book. This is a pretty chunky military book. This looks like it's in good shape. This sold for $15.99. We kind of have like a eclectic array of stuff selling over the weekend, which is always good. I like it when it's not just nerdy stuff, but I wish it was just a little bit more. All right, coming up is a combo order. These are Blitzkrieg tank dioramas. They weren't really labeled on the thing. I just took a close-up picture of the tanks, so I'm not too sure of them. These each sold for $15.99, so this is $32 combo order. I just recently listed these. This is fantastic. These are part of the video where we had $125 for everything on the table. So yeah, getting another $32 into it is fantastic. All right, next up is a chunky sale. This is the Battle for Tarawa. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This is actually a sealed book. Like I put the plastic covering over it, but it's also sealed on the inside. This sold for $79.99. There you go. Not even they didn't even take an offer. I had another book similar to this. I'm not sure why they were like high priced. This looks like it was at a thrift supermarket. They had it priced for $32.50. We got this in a bulk buy. So yeah, $79.99 is great for this. I didn't want to rip off the sticker because I think it would have probably potentially ripped off the seal, so I just kept it on there. Sometimes people send weird stuff. They'll be like, oh, I see a $1 sticker on that, so I can't pay more than $2. Weird messages, and sometimes the stickers, most of the time, they're actually just like from when the item was made, so that's not how buying and selling stuff works. People are interesting with their messages. Next up, I'm super happy for this one. This is going to be the book right here. This is not a book. This is holy moly, Nendroid. Sorry, I wasn't into them. I only figured out about Nendroids when I bought them for my buddy. I did pay up for a lot of stuff. This right here is like the base that the character stands on. This opens up. There's a bunch of pieces in there. I'm keeping them safe inside there. I'm not going to open it up. I prepackaged it. Here's the character. This is Hatsumiku. I think she's like a Vocaloid. So that's one of the only few animes I happen to randomly know. Someone who I knew was like obsessed with this one, so I happen to know this one. This is like snow version apparently. This Nendroid, the person who I bought this from told me they had different like tier levels. So like this is the one that he paid the most because you get like this, you get more bits and pieces to intermix. You'll get more weapons, faces. You get this nice little display. Where the other ones, as you get lower in tier, you just get like, less weapons, less accessories, eventually just to the base figure. All right, so that sold for $60. All right, next up, I kind of listed this fairly recently. This is going to be lots of 50 plus custom Scythe, the board game components. These look like they were 3D printed by someone. They're just going to upgrade their components from like cardboard, little bits and pieces to look nicer and have a cooler design. So $15 for something custom is pretty cool to me. All right, next up, got a bunch of vintage stickers. I remember these like brands when I was a kid. I used to love stickers. These right here are going to be Christmas lights right here. It's a full like a little roll from them. I think sometimes in the past these used to be in the stores where like you pull them out and pay by slices or something. It's been a while since I got stickers, obviously, when I was a kid. This sold for $12.50. This is by Miss Grossman's small Christmas light stickers. That's like the Maker Smart on this. They look like high quality compared to stickers now. All right, moving along. This is Risk Legacy, the Red Con Industry replacement pieces. This is for a legacy board game. Legacy board games have permanent changes players make, and you play a campaign, usually like 10 games, 12, 15, sometimes more. One of the options in the game, I guess, spoiler alert, it's been out for a long time, so I doubt I'm actually going to be spoiling anyone. I think there's a mechanic in the game where you have to throw away a full army, all their stuff, so maybe people get like sad and later on they want to replay the game, so they'll pick up the armies that have been destroyed or thrown away. This is the Red Troops. This sold for $9. This is a repeat buyer, so I'm not sure why, or they just want to have different Risk pieces for their game. All right, moving along. I was super happy this one sold because it saved a lot of room. This is, I can't really open it up because it has the styrofoam, so stuff's going to get all over the place and it's going to get messy, unfortunately. But this is Blue Sky Christmas Collection Gingerbread House Ceramic. So yeah, it's going to be like a nice ceramic gingerbread house. And then there's like a little tray it goes on. I think you can even probably put some kind of candle or candlelight, maybe a legit one or not. Kitties. I know they're fun. They're just fighting. They're being hyper. They're excited. They feel my energy. All right, so this sold for $30 plus shipping. I like that the space is going back. I have no idea where we got this. Do you even know or no? Okay. Yep, no clue. That's what happens when you do this for a bit. All right, next up is Franklin Group of Funds Playing Card Deck Completes. I can't tell. Let me see real quick from the pictures if this is new or not. No, but the cards look pretty new. I can tell it looks like someone opened it up and never shuffled them, never played them. So this sold for $10. I love someone playing card decks. Yeah, $10 is pretty solid. Probably grab that from a estate sale. Next up is an extremely old listing, the Gutenberg Documents right here, this hardcover book. I was lucky to find it. It was basically the very last spot I was going to look for. I was going to be really sad if I didn't find it. We don't have a label on this. This sold for $25. I generally know the section where we have unlabeled stuff. It was on a bookshelf that we used to have just like laying in the room. We were trying to be fancy about it, I guess. But yeah, this sold for $25 for an old listing. It's crazy. I see like the old setup we have, the old lighting, the old picture. I can just tell by my listing. I know that doesn't mean too much to you people, but I think it's cool. All right, next up is Aeroline Pilot's miniature model kit. This is probably like a plastic or resin one. It's an astronaut miniature. This sold for $15. I don't know too much about that one, but we always grab the little miniature bits and pieces and went out and about. This next one is a potential mistake. I've been having so many mistakes, so I'm just getting livid at myself about it, but we're going to ship it out and see what happens. Right here, this is a lot of free Walking Dead graphic novels from 23, 24, and 25. This is, I believe, my personal novels. The pictures are correct. Everything is correct except for one thing in the listing. It says a lot of 3, 23 through 26. But all of my pictures are clear. There's 3, and I said a lot of 3. So I sent the person a message like, hey, I made a mistake, just so you know that number 26 not included. It's the only part of my whole listing that's incorrect. If I don't receive any messages in a few hours, they're probably gonna get like 3 or 4 hours total since I pulled this. I'm shipping this out as is, and I apologize, but everything else literally was correct in the listing. So this sold for $20. Yeah, mistakes like that are pretty rough, but that one for me is understandable. It's just literally just like a misclick, and it sucks because I'm reading like, oh, a lot of 3, 23, or whatever. Okay, I'm good. Move on. I don't think I've made that particular mistake in a long time since like we first started. All right, next up is a lot. Yeah, that is about to throw me out the window. All right, next up, just kidding. A lot of 120 vintage Lincoln Log bits and pieces right here. This is bag 2 of 2. It's bag 1 of 2. I'm not a fan of selling these, and I love picking these up. We have made good money. I remember going through this lot. There was a lot of, I had my lint roller, but there was a bunch of like hairs and like, yeah, stuff like that I have to clean up. And yeah, for $20, and this took up a lot of space. For my time now, not fully worth it, but to get the space back from something that we already bought, this is probably cheap. So yeah, $20 for that is good. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. They just bore me. They take a lot of time to list and clean. All right, next up is a plushie Annalie Blarney 10-inch St. Patrick's Day mouse plush right here. He has like a little rock with his name. He has a St. Patrick's Day little club right there. 4-leaf clover. And then his little mousy face. All right, this sold for $18. All right, we're almost getting done there. Castles on the Rhine, just a little book about castles. This was probably from an estate sale. This is a repeat buyer, so they appreciated our books before. This is kind of like a paperback, trade paperback type of book. This sold for $10. All right, last item for the day is Travel Games to Go Roulette. I'll always grab little random stuff like this. It has like a sticker from a store called like Something to Do. I don't know that one. This is by Pressman from 1995. This sold for $15, so someone's going to play. It has like little tokens that you can gamble and the little spinny wheel. Yeah, so people love stuff like this. This one sold for $15. I think that's everything for the weekend. Yeah, there were some like chunky sales in there, like the book for $80. A lot of like 25s, 30s. Those do add up, 20, 18. So it's good that the dollar amount isn't too miserable. But if this was a quantity of this stuff, with our lower end price, it would have been an extra bad weekend, but I'm still appreciative of the sales that we got. Like I said earlier, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help us personally, take a look at our shop down below. We do have offers on. It is Monday, so everyone have a good week. We are going to be back at it. Thank you.